Welcome back to Who Died Today USA channel. In the past few days, we have received somber news about the passing of extraordinary talents. Today's episode is dedicated to honoring their memory. Additionally, we will recap the stars we have recently lost. Before we begin, we kindly ask for your support. If this video or the legacies of these remarkable individuals have touched your life, please consider giving this video a thumbs up as a sign of respect and remembrance. Thank you. Ananda Lewis lived her life on her terms, boldly, purposefully, and with a heart open to truth. Her presence on television was unforgettable, but it was her authenticity off-screen that left the most lasting impression. A devoted mother to her son Langston and a passionate advocate for women's health, she used her journey to shine a light for others. In 2020, Ananda revealed her stage 3 breast cancer diagnosis in a heartfelt video message. Rather than retreat, she became a fierce voice for early detection, urging women to prioritize their health. "If just one woman gets her mammogram after watching this," she said, "what I'm going through will be worth it." Her words echoed far beyond that moment, rooted in honesty and love. Before her advocacy, Ananda had already made her mark as one of the most dynamic personalities on TV. Her career began on BET's Teen Summit, where she interviewed icons like Kobe Bryant and Hillary Clinton, earning an NAACP Image Award. In 1997, she joined MTV and became a VJ for Total Request Live and Hot Zone, speaking to millions with confidence and connection. Her 2001 talk show, The Ananda Lewis Show, was a leap of independence, though she later admitted it came too soon. Still, it represented her courage to grow and redefine herself. She went on to host The Insider, While You Were Out, and America's Top Dog, always bringing heart to the spotlight. On June 11, 2025, at the age of 52, Ananda passed away peacefully after a 6-year journey with illness. Her voice, her warmth, and her purpose remain etched in our hearts. She reminded us all to live bravely and love loudly. Ananda Lewis did both. Chris Robinson's legacy is woven into the very fabric of American television. With piercing charm and quiet strength, he played iconic roles that spanned generations. From the courageous Sergeant Sandy Kamansky in 12 O'Clock High to the heart-steadying Dr. Rick Weber in General Hospital. Born November 5, 1938, in West Palm Beach, Florida, Chris's career began in the late 1950s and flourished for more than 6 decades. He graced both screen and stage in over 100 film and television projects, but it was on daytime television where he found his most lasting home. His portrayals in General Hospital and The Bold and the Beautiful brought layers of humanity to soap opera storytelling, earning him admiration from colleagues and deep affection from audiences. In 1984, his image reached millions in a now-famous commercial for Vicks Formula 44. With a humble smile, he said, "I'm not a doctor, but I do play one on TV," instantly becoming a pop culture icon. Even personal setbacks couldn't shake his devotion to his craft. He continued acting while serving a short sentence for tax issues, embodying resilience on and off the screen. In later years, Chris turned to directing and writing, creating his own films and passing on his passion to his children, several of whom honored him through documentary work exploring his complex yet captivating family life. On June 9, 2025, Chris Robinson passed away peacefully in his sleep at his ranch near Sedona, Arizona, due to heart failure. He was 86. To his fans, Chris was more than an actor. He was a comforting presence, a steady voice, a familiar face in a fast-changing world. His work endures not only in film reels, but in memory and affection. Breaking news. What lies behind the steely gaze and thunderous voice of Dominic Toretto? Beneath the tough exterior and box office triumphs, what story does Vin Diesel carry with him from set to set, from film to fatherhood? Fans know the franchise. But do we truly know the man? If you think Vin Diesel is just another action star, think again. His journey is not one of overnight success, but of relentless grit, unshakable loyalty, and personal loss that changed the way he walks through life and through Hollywood. Born Mark Sinclair in Alameda County, California in 1967, he was raised in New York City by his mother, a psychologist, and his adoptive father, an acting instructor. From a young age, Diesel was immersed in the world of storytelling, not just with scripts and characters, but with questions of identity. Growing up multiracial in a time that often demanded clear labels, Vin struggled with where he belonged. But instead of letting confusion define him, he let it sharpen him. Can you recall a moment in your life when not fitting in turned out to be your greatest gift? Vin's first steps in the film industry were anything but glamorous. In fact, he wrote, directed, produced, and starred in his 1995 short film, Multifacial, a semi-autobiographical piece that tackled the pain and complexity of being racially ambiguous in Hollywood casting rooms. It cost almost nothing to make. But its raw emotional honesty caught the attention of one man who would change everything: Steven Spielberg. Spielberg was so moved by Multifacial that he cast Vin in Saving Private Ryan, giving him his first major role in a big-budget film. That one opportunity opened the floodgates. Soon came Pitch Black, The Fast and the Furious, and XXX. The world met Vin Diesel not as a newcomer, but as a force. But even meteoric rises come with shadows. Vin's attachment to his characters, especially Dominic Toretto, was not just about screen presence. It was about family, about legacy. And perhaps nothing shaped his emotional journey more than his real-life bond with co-star and best friend, Paul Walker. When Paul tragically passed away in 2013, it was not just a loss for the franchise. It was a personal earthquake for Vin. He once described Paul as his other half, and it was clear that the grief he carried was not something that could be scripted or edited. During the filming of Furious 7, Vin broke down multiple times. When he named his daughter Pauline in Paul's memory, fans around the world saw the depth of a man many had thought was made only of iron and muscle. Have you ever lost someone who changed the direction of your life? How did you carry them with you, even as you moved forward? This grief affected Vin not only emotionally, but physically as well. Though always known for his muscular frame, insiders noted how his health fluctuated during this period. The stress of losing Paul, the pressure of leading a billion-dollar franchise, and the demands of fatherhood weighed heavily on him. While he never disclosed specific diagnoses, Vin has spoken about the toll emotional burdens can take on physical strength. And yet, despite fatigue, despite sorrow, he kept going. He returned to film not with bravado, but with purpose. Each Fast movie since Walker's passing has carried the weight of tribute. Whether fans realize it or not, Vin has been channeling his pain into performance, crafting each scene as a form of healing. Is there a film or moment in Vin Diesel's career that has helped you heal or feel seen? Share it below. We want to hear your story. But Vin Diesel is not just Fast and Furious. He is also the Iron Giant, a role that showed the softer, fatherly side of his voice, a voice that soothed millions of children. He is Groot, a tree with only one phrase, yet somehow layered with warmth, humor, and heartbreak. And he is a father to 3 children in real life, someone who is as fiercely protective of his private life as he is proud of the values he teaches his kids. His health journey has also included self-discipline and reflection. In recent years, Diesel has embraced a gentler pace off-screen. He has spoken of the importance of mental stillness, choosing peace over constant movement. Though he once gained attention for shedding a few pounds or appearing softer in paparazzi shots, Vin never responded with vanity. Instead, he reminded fans that bodies change and that peace of mind and presence in parenting were his new priorities. And what about controversy? Like many public figures, Vin has had to weather rumors, on-set tension, feuds with co-stars, particularly Dwayne Johnson. But while headlines often sensationalize their disagreements, both actors have since spoken with respect and reflection about their different approaches. Vin, always the loyal producer, saw the Fast franchise as a legacy to protect. He has admitted he can be tough, but always with purpose. Do you think it is possible to lead with both strength and softness? When have you had to balance both in your life? Vin Diesel's resilience is not about perfection. It is about devotion to family, to storytelling, to honoring the people he loves both on and off screen. And that devotion extends beyond Hollywood. He is active in philanthropy, particularly in causes related to children and multicultural education. He often supports young filmmakers, remembering what it felt like to knock on doors and be told he did not fit. Today, Vin stands as a symbol, not just of action stardom, but of emotional endurance. His voice is everywhere, his silhouette unmistakable, but more importantly, his heart remains one of the most consistent forces behind one of the longest-running franchises in cinema history. He is more than Dom Toretto. He is the grieving friend who turned loss into tribute. He is the father who whispers bedtime stories in the same voice that commands a crowd. He is the man who dared to be vulnerable in a business that often rewards bravado. So the next time you hear him growl, "I am Groot," or whisper, "I live my life a quarter mile at a time," know this: those words come from a place of pain, love, and legacy. Vin Diesel is not racing for fame anymore. He is racing for meaning. What is your favorite moment from Vin's career? When did he move you, not just as a performer, but as a person? Share your story in the comments, and let us honor a man who proves that true strength often lies in silence, in love, and in carrying others with us, always. If this tribute to Vin Diesel touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more emotional stories behind Hollywood's most iconic faces. Let us keep the spirit of loyalty, family, and purpose alive, just like he does. Loretta Swit, beloved as Major Margaret Houlihan on MASH, leaves behind a legacy of grace, strength, and transformation. Loretta Swit passed peacefully at her home in New York City on May 30th, 2025, at the age of 87 due to natural causes. Her portrayal of Hot Lips Houlihan on the iconic series MASH earned her 2 Emmy Awards and the affection of millions. Yet Swit's true triumph was not just in the accolades, but in how she reshaped her character, and in doing so, helped change television itself. When MASH first aired, Margaret Houlihan was written as a one-note figure. But Loretta, determined to reflect a real, complex woman, worked tirelessly with the writers to evolve Margaret into a respected, layered military nurse, one who battled sexism, led with compassion, and held her own in a camp full of chaos. As her co-star Alan Alda said, she created the part. She turned it from a stereotype into a real person. Loretta's performance was the heart of MASH's evolution, from satire to poignant storytelling. Episodes like The Nurses and Comrades in Arms revealed Margaret's loneliness, resilience, and deep humanity, moments that still move audiences decades later. Off-screen, Swit was equally devoted, becoming a passionate animal rights advocate and founding the Swit Heart Animal Alliance. From her Broadway roots to her unforgettable television career, Loretta Swit inspired generations with her talent and heart. For many, she was not just an actress, she was a role model. Letters still pour in from women who became nurses because of her portrayal. Loretta's voice, courage, and compassion will echo for years to come. She made us laugh, made us think, and most importantly, made us feel. Frederick Forsythe, master of the modern thriller, remembered for his grit, insight, and global imagination. Frederick Forsythe, the celebrated British novelist whose sharp storytelling and global vision redefined the political thriller, passed away on June 9, 2025, at his home in Jordan's, England, at the age of 86, following a short illness. Best known for his gripping debut, The Day of the Jackal, Forsythe captivated readers with a blend of authentic detail and suspenseful plots drawn from a life well lived. As a fighter pilot, foreign correspondent, and later, as he would reveal, an MI6 operative. His novels like The Odessa File, The Dogs of War, and The Fourth Protocol transported millions into the intricate worlds of espionage, warfare, and international intrigue. Over 70 million copies of his works found their way into the hands of eager readers worldwide. Forsythe's literary journey began humbly. In 1971, while unemployed, he penned The Day of the Jackal, unknowingly launching one of the most successful second careers in modern publishing. His novels weren't just bestsellers, they were cultural touchstones, adapted into acclaimed films and television productions, including the Oscar-nominated 1973 film and a recent 2024 series starring Eddie Redmayne. But behind the intrigue and international plots was a man deeply committed to truth. As a BBC correspondent, he reported from some of the world's most volatile regions. His first-hand experience gave his fiction rare depth. These weren't just spy stories. They were reflections of our times, of the fragility of peace, and the power of human resolve. Named Commander of the Order of the British Empire in 1997, Frederick Forsythe leaves behind more than a bookshelf of classics. He leaves a legacy of storytelling that fused intellect with action, curiosity with conscience, and a reminder that one voice, driven by experience and integrity, can truly change how we see the world. Charles Shyer, the heart behind Hollywood's beloved comedies, leaves a legacy of laughter and love. Charles Shyer, the Oscar-nominated filmmaker whose charm-filled comedies warmed hearts across generations, passed away on December 27, 2024, at the age of 83 after a brief illness. Best known for Father of the Bride, Private Benjamin, and Baby Boom, Shyer brought a rare blend of humor, tenderness, and insight to the screen. His stories, often centered on family, love, and personal reinvention, became touchstones of American cinema in the late 20th century. Whether it was Steve Martin's endearing panic in Father of the Bride or Diane Keaton's graceful resilience in Baby Boom, Shyer's characters lived with emotional honesty and unforgettable warmth. Born in Los Angeles to a film industry family, Shyer followed a path shaped by both heritage and his own clear-eyed vision. He began as a writer on The Odd Couple before transitioning to film, where he would collaborate with Nancy Meyers, his creative and life partner, through the 1980s and 90s. Together, they crafted some of Hollywood's most beloved comedies and reimagined the genre with a distinctly modern heart. Even after their professional paths diverged, Shyer continued to explore new stories, directing The Affair of the Necklace, co-writing the Parent Trap remake, and bringing holiday magic to Netflix with The Noel Diary in 2022. His children, including filmmaker Hallie Myers Shyer, now carry forward his storytelling legacy. Charles Shyer's work brought comfort and joy to millions. He understood the beauty in small moments, a wedding toast, a kitchen mishap, a father's tear, and turned them into timeless cinema. His legacy lives not only in film reels and scripts, but in the memories of those who laughed, cried, and grew up with his stories. Garth Hudson, the musical soul behind the band's groundbreaking sound, passed peacefully in his sleep on January 22, 2025, at the age of 87. With his passing, the last surviving member of the band has taken his final bow, closing a chapter on one of the most influential acts in American music history. Hudson wasn't a frontman, nor did he sing, but his music spoke volumes. A classically trained musician who played everything from organ and piano to saxophone and clavinet, Garth was the architect behind the atmospheric, genre-defying textures that defined songs like The Weight, Chest Fever, and Up on Cripple Creek. His legendary organ prelude, The Genetic Method, was a sonic journey in itself, a masterwork of improvisation and emotion. Born in Ontario to a family of musicians, Hudson's journey began in the silent pews of a funeral home, playing hymns. By the early 60s, he was hired as musical consultant by Ronnie Hawkins, a clever title to reassure his parents, joining what would soon become the band. With Bob Dylan, they challenged the boundaries of rock, eventually retreating to Woodstock to craft the Basement Tapes, a collection that laid the foundation for what we now call Americana. Though he faced hardship in later years, including financial struggles and the loss of his beloved wife Maude, Hudson remained devoted to his craft. His performances were rare, but when they happened, audiences knew they were witnessing something profound. He was honored by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1994 and the Recording Academy in 2008. Garth Hudson's legacy is one of quiet genius, of serving the song, and of transforming roots music into something timeless and transcendent. Through every note he played, he reminded us that music, at its best, doesn't just entertain, it elevates the soul. P.H. Moriarty, the formidable British actor known for his commanding presence in films like The Long Good Friday and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, passed away peacefully on February 2, 2025, at the age of 86. His wife was by his side, holding his hand. Born in Deptford, London in 1938, Moriarty led a life that was far from typical for a future screen actor. A boxer and dock worker before stepping into the limelight, he was nearly 40 when a film crew filming at the docks spotted something in him, a quiet power, an unmistakable authenticity. That spark ignited a late but remarkable career. Moriarty etched himself into cinema history with his unforgettable turn as Razors in The Long Good Friday, 1980, exuding menace and complexity in equal measure. But it was his portrayal of the ruthless gangster Hatchet Harry in Guy Ritchie's Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, 1998, that solidified his reputation with a new generation of filmgoers. Despite his intimidating on-screen roles, those who knew Moriarty described him as a true gentleman, humble, kind, and deeply loyal. Fans and friends alike have shared stories of his warmth and generosity, from quiet visits to a friend in care to heartfelt chats after Millwall matches. Moriarty's journey from the docks of South London to cult film immortality is a testament to grit, authenticity, and the kind of talent that doesn't just perform a role, it inhabits it fully. His legacy lives on in the unforgettable characters he brought to life and in the lives he touched along the way. Pippa Scott, beloved actress, producer, and human rights advocate, passed peacefully on May 2, 2025, at her Santa Monica home, surrounded by her family. She was 90. Scott's luminous screen presence first captivated audiences in 1956, when she appeared alongside John Wayne and Natalie Wood in The Searchers, portraying Lucy Edwards, one of the abducted sisters in John Ford's legendary Western. Just 2 years later, she brought warmth and wit to the role of Pagine Ryan in Auntie Mame, stealing scenes and hearts as the spirited secretary who finds love of her own. Born into Hollywood royalty, her father, Alan Scott, penned timeless Astaire and Rogers musicals, Pippa carved a distinctive path of her own. Trained at Radcliffe and the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, she seamlessly moved between stage and screen, starring in films like Petulia and Cold Turkey, and guest starring on classic television series from The Twilight Zone to Columbo. Yet, her impact extended far beyond entertainment. Shaped by a family legacy marked by political persecution, Her uncle Adrian Scott was one of the Hollywood 10. Pippa became a force for justice. In 1993, she founded the International Monitor Institute, a nonprofit dedicated to documenting war crimes. Her work supported prosecutions in conflict zones from Rwanda to the Balkans and beyond, a legacy still active through Duke University's Human Rights Archive. Through Linden Productions, she brought difficult truths to light with documentaries like The World's Most Wanted Man and King Leopold's Ghost. Her tireless advocacy, coupled with decades of storytelling, left a mark both on screen and in the lives of those seeking justice. Pippa Scott is survived by her daughters, Miranda and Jessica, and 5 grandchildren. Her life reminds us that grace, talent, and moral courage can indeed walk hand in hand. Devon Hargroves, a talented actor whose subtle yet powerful performances touched countless viewers, passed away on May 27, 2025, at Mount Sinai West Hospital in New York City. He was 41. Born in Lubbock, Texas, on July 29, 1983, Devon's early life revolved around animals and horses, creatures he loved deeply. But it was the transformative power of storytelling that eventually drew him to acting. From college stages to off-Broadway shows and indie films, Devon carved his own path with determination, humility, and quiet strength. Audiences may remember him as Jack Dempsey in Boardwalk Empire, a role that showcased his intensity and range. In the gritty world of Daredevil, he portrayed Oscar, a compassionate Rikers Island nurse. On Gotham, he appeared as Clyde, a bank guard caught in the chaos of a city on the brink. His role as Pete Baylor in Manifest revealed yet another side of him, a haunted soul seeking redemption. Beyond these roles, Devon appeared in acclaimed series like Orange is the New Black, Blue Bloods, and FBI. Though often cast in supporting roles, his performances never faded into the background. Instead, they added emotional depth and texture, elevating every scene he touched. In February of this year, Devon was diagnosed with cancer. Despite the challenges of his illness, he faced each day with resilience and grace. He leaves behind a loving family, including his parents, Randy and Roseanne, his sister Trish and her family, his ex-wife Shiva Shobitha, and his cherished cat, Maud. Devon Hargroves' legacy lives on not only in the characters he brought to life, but in the quiet courage he showed behind the scenes. His story reminds us that greatness often speaks in whispers, and those whispers can echo forever. David St. John, a visionary television producer whose work brought empathy and light to untold stories, passed away on December 19, 2024, at the age of 56. He spent his final days at Virginia Mason Medical Center in Seattle, surrounded by love, after a courageous battle with pancreatic cancer. Born with a storyteller's soul, David began his television journey at MTV, rising from assistant to story producer on Taildaters. His career would go on to span decades, leaving a profound mark on reality television. He brought authenticity and compassion to his projects, most notably America's Next Top Model, where he co-executive produced over 100 episodes, and I Am Jazz, the groundbreaking series that followed Jazz Jennings and her family with honesty, humor, and deep humanity. For David, television was never just entertainment. It was a platform for empathy. His work earned a GLAAD Media Award and left an indelible imprint on the lives of viewers and the people whose stories he helped tell. He was family, said the Jennings family, and we loved him deeply. David also produced The Tease Madison Experience and his final project, Jay and Pamela, which told the love story of 2 individuals living with brittle bone disease. He had an unwavering commitment to underrepresented voices, turning cameras into mirrors and windows for both participants and audiences. Outside the studio, David faced his own health battles with remarkable grace. After surviving 2 craniotomies, he chose to help others, volunteering his time to support patients preparing for brain surgery. His humor, reassurance, and humanity made him unforgettable. David is survived by his beloved husband, Scott, his mother, Lynn, sisters Corinne and Rachel, and 2 women he called sisters, Kirsten and Karen. To have known David was to bask in the warmth of someone who truly made life better. His legacy lives on in every life he touched and every story he helped the world see with new eyes. Buck White, beloved patriarch of the celebrated country and bluegrass group The Whites, passed away peacefully on January 13, 2025, at the age of 94. His life, rich with music and meaning, was a testament to faith, family, and the enduring spirit of American roots music. Born on December 13, 1930, Buck grew up with music in his veins. He first made his mark in Texas dance halls and radio shows, playing mandolin and piano with a charm that would carry him far beyond his humble beginnings. By the 1960s, he had relocated to Arkansas and formed Buck White and the Down Home Folks, a group that would evolve into the Whites with the addition of his talented daughters, Sharon and Cheryl. Their unique blend of harmonies and heartfelt performances soon captivated audiences, leading them to Nashville and the Grand Ole Opry stage, where they became members in 1984. The Whites' collaboration with Emmylou Harris opened doors to national acclaim, and their close musical partnership with Sharon's husband, Ricky Skaggs, brought them into the heart of bluegrass and gospel circles. Hits like You Put the Blue in Me and Hangin' Around earned them Grammy nominations, while their work on the Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Soundtrack and the Salt of the Earth album garnered Grammy wins and the hearts of a new generation of fans. Buck was more than a musician. He was a beacon of joy, known for his fun-loving spirit, deep faith, and devotion to family. As his daughters lovingly shared, he lived a full life and finished well. Buck White's legacy will live on through the songs, the stories, and the harmonies he helped shape, and through the family and fans who continue to carry his music forward. Marcy Jones, the trailblazing voice behind Marcy and the Cookies and a cherished icon of Australia's music history, passed away on May 30, 2025, at the age of 79. Her departure came just days after sharing the news of her leukemia diagnosis with the same honesty and courage that defined her decades-long career. Born in Melbourne in 1945, Marcy began performing at just 15 years old. By her early 20s, she had already captivated audiences on The Go show, and soon after, she formed Marcy and the Cookies, a groundbreaking all-female group that stood out in a male-dominated era. Their vibrant harmonies and soul-infused pop won hearts across Australia and beyond, with tours spanning Asia, Europe, and the UK. Her solo career flourished in the 1970s with the album That Girl Jones, and she went on to share stages with legends like the Monkees, the Seekers, Tom Jones, and Cliff Richard. Throughout her 6 decades in show business, Marcy was never far from the spotlight, whether recording, performing, or lending her warmth and wisdom to others in the industry. A vibrant spirit with a powerhouse voice, Marcy never stopped giving to her fans, her family, and her community. In her final months, she had planned a celebration for her 80th birthday, a testament to her undimmed joy for life and music. Her passing leaves a silence that echoes deeply, but her songs and spirit remain, resonating with those lucky enough to hear her sing and those inspired by her trailblazing path. Marcy Jones didn't just make music, she made history. Nathaniel Pelier, known to many for his recurring role as the warm and familiar taxi driver on Hallmark's When Calls the Heart, passed away suddenly on April 11, 2025, at his home in Langley, British Columbia. He was 53. More than just an actor, Nate was a beloved member of the show's transportation team, a quiet force behind the scenes who brought light, laughter, and warmth to everyone he met. Known for his big smile, strong handshake, and generous spirit, he was someone who instinctively gave without being asked. To his colleagues and friends, Nate was more than a co-worker. He was family. Actor Martin Cummins reflected, "The Valley won't be the same without Nathaniel Pelier. He was a gentle soul, and it was my honor to call him friend." The show's production team called him a true unicorn, a man who made even the longest days joyful with his energy and kindness. Above all, Nate was a devoted father. His daughter, Mercedes, was the pride of his life. He loved surprising her with concert and travel tickets, sharing his love of music, and cheering on her adventures around the world. Whether baking cookies, writing heartfelt poems, or opening his home to friends young and old, Nate lived a life rooted in compassion and connection. His absence leaves a deep void, but his spirit and the love he gave so freely will live on in every life he touched. Rest peacefully, Nate. You were truly one of a kind. Breaking news. Today, we explore the powerful story of a Hollywood star whose bright smile masked years of personal struggle, silent battles, and ultimate redemption. Owen Wilson, known for his quirky charm and unmistakable voice, has captivated audiences worldwide. But behind his comedic genius and laid-back screen persona lies a journey marked by emotional resilience and profound healing. What moments from Owen's life or career have stayed with you the most? Share your reflections in the comments as we take a heartfelt look at the remarkable evolution of this beloved actor. Owen Wilson, born on November 18, 1968 in Dallas, Texas, is more than just a comedic actor. He is a survivor, a writer, and a symbol of understated depth in a world that often celebrates the loudest voices. His path to stardom began in partnership with director Wes Anderson, a friendship forged at the University of Texas. Together, they co-wrote Bottle Rocket, which marked Owen's cinematic debut in 1996. Though the film was not a box office hit, it introduced audiences to Wilson's unique rhythm and subtle humor. The years that followed saw Owen rise steadily through Hollywood, with memorable roles in Zoolander, Wedding Crashers, and Marley and Me. He solidified his place as a comedic powerhouse. He brought warmth and humanity to every role, often portraying characters who were lost, longing, or misunderstood. His performance in Midnight in Paris as Gil Pender showcased a deeper emotional range, earning him critical acclaim and a Golden Globe nomination. And for younger fans, his iconic voice as Lightning McQueen in Pixar's Cars franchise became instantly recognizable across the world. Yet behind the fame and success, Owen Wilson was silently battling something far more serious. In 2007, news broke that shocked the entertainment industry and fans alike. Owen had been hospitalized following a mental health crisis. The cheerful actor so many had come to love had, in private, been struggling with overwhelming depression. It was a moment that changed everything. The incident prompted a wave of support, but also intense media scrutiny. Owen withdrew from the public eye, stepping back from projects, including a planned role in Tropic Thunder. For months, he focused on recovery, shielded by the love of his close-knit family, especially his older brother, Andrew Wilson. Andrew reportedly moved in with Owen during this difficult time, creating a structured daily routine to help guide his brother through the darkness. Owen's challenges extended beyond that crisis. He has spoken in interviews about feeling existential anxiety from a young age, revealing that even as a child, he wrestled with intense, sometimes intrusive thoughts. These admissions offered a rare, vulnerable glimpse into the psyche of a performer who often made the world laugh while struggling to find inner peace himself. Despite these deeply personal struggles, Owen Wilson began to re-emerge. He took on new roles, reconnected with Wes Anderson for films like The Grand Budapest Hotel and The French Dispatch, and slowly allowed himself to return to the spotlight. His work in recent years, including the Disney Plus series Loki and the heartwarming film Marry Me, has shown that he remains a versatile and in-demand actor. But more importantly, Owen's return was not just professional, it was personal. He rebuilt his life on his own terms, focused on being a present father to his 3 children, and embraced a quieter, more centered existence. In interviews, he often speaks with gratitude, reflecting on the blessings in his life with humility and perspective. He once described how witnessing his father's decline from Alzheimer's disease brought unexpected lessons. While emotionally challenging, the experience deepened his appreciation for family, time, and the importance of emotional presence. Owen has said that moments with his father helped him recognize the strength in vulnerability and the beauty in showing up, even when life feels uncertain. Unlike many celebrities who chase the spotlight, Owen has chosen a life of balance. He splits his time between Los Angeles and Maui, opting for peace and nature over red carpets and headlines. His health, both mental and physical, appears stable, supported by this grounded lifestyle and strong family ties. He remains selective in his roles, choosing characters that allow him to explore subtle emotions and bring light into people's lives. Owen Wilson has not been the center of major public controversies in recent years. He has kept a low profile, staying out of the social and political fray that so often envelops Hollywood figures. This conscious choice to prioritize peace over publicity has only deepened public respect for him. His journey reminds us that behind every smile, there can be invisible battles. Owen's story is not just one of fame or talent, but of quiet resilience, healing, and the courage to keep going even when the path ahead feels uncertain. He has shown that vulnerability is not weakness, but a bridge to deeper strength. As we honor Owen Wilson today, we also honor the many people who face similar inner battles. His honesty, his journey, and his quiet comeback are a testament to the power of hope, family, and the will to heal. What is your favorite Owen Wilson role? How has his journey inspired you or someone you know? Let us know in the comments, and if this tribute moved you, please like and subscribe for more stories that highlight the heart behind the fame. Owen's story teaches us that healing is possible, and sometimes the brightest light comes from those who have walked through the darkest nights.